Okay, we're going to look at our next attribute that's required for files, and that is the data attribute. Folders will have an index attribute, but files will have a data attribute. And this attribute is going to be a little bit different because it can either be resident or non-resident. So again, we're looking at the data attribute. It will have an identifier of 80000000. And again, the folders will not have a data attribute. They'll have an index root. If we look at it, if the data attribute is resident, it's going to look just like our other attributes that we've looked at. The first 24 bytes, 0 through 23, will be the same as our other attributes. You have the identifier, the length of the attribute, whether it's resident or non-resident, again, which will be 00 in this case because we're specifically talking about resident attributes. We won't have a stream name or an offset to the stream name, typically no flags. Again, the identifier is the count of the attributes that we have. And so most of this information here we're not too concerned about. The size of the resident attribute is how much data do we have. So how big is the content of our file. And then we have the offset to that, which again is going to be offset 24. So at offset 24, this is where our data will be located. So showing this in a hex editor, again, yellow is our record header, followed by the standard information attribute, which I've highlighted in green, which is the 10.00.00.00, a file name attribute, 30.00.00.00. File name is header.txt, and then we have our data attribute, 80.00.00.00. And again, if we start at the 24th byte in, which is going to start right here with the hex, with the 41. And the content of this file just happens to be just repeating A through Z. And then you see the 0D, 0A, that's the carriage return line feed in there. Okay, so we're just repeating that data, but all the content of this text file is actually contained within the record because it's small enough. Now, we had mentioned in a previous lesson about the fix-up array or the update sequence array. Remember, at bytes 510, 511, it's replacing the last two bytes. So we see that here, 0200 at the end of this sector. Okay, that's our update sequence. If we go way back up to the header, okay, up here, we're seeing the 0200. It's saying that's what we're going to replace, and here's what was originally in there, hex 47, 48. And you can see that would flow. You have 44, 45, 46, and it should be 47 and 48 in those 2 bytes. But it's been replaced by that fix-up code. So if we walk through, again, here's 80.00.00.00, and then we have the length of the 80 attribute, which is 704 bytes. Offset 8 through 15 are the same kind of data that we had in previous. That should actually say 8 through 15 in the file name attribute. Offsets 16 through 19 is the size of the content, 675 bytes. So we had 704 for the entire length of the attribute, but the actual content is going to be 675 bytes. And that's what's highlighted here. Starting at offset 24, we have the content of our file. Now, right after the data attribute, that's the end, that's our last attribute, we will have an end of record marker, which will be followed by a series of 4 8s or excuse me, 4 sets of FF, 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 FF. So this is the end of this record, and then anything after this end of record marker is called record slack. So in our data attribute, we just looked at the resident version of the data attribute. We will look next at the non-resident attribute.